Mangwanani Malelepo Vukenjani Klekbasa Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning. This is your trusted news source, keeping you connected to the continent's latest stories. Today, we're highlighting Namibia's groundbreaking State of the Nation address with a focus on free tertiary education and key economic initiatives. Plus, we'll be diving deeper into regional developments from South Africa's shifting political landscape to peace efforts in the DRC. Stay with us as we bring you these stories and more in today's show. We also have a special segment, as we always do on Friday, dedicated to Namibia's exciting developments. This is Africa Good Morning with Ashwin Berry on DSTV 2 at 5, GoTV 25, 1up2.com and Network Media Hub on YouTube. Top stories shortly. Let's get into our top stories. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa said in a post on social media platform X that he had spoken to U.S. President Donald Trump on the Ukraine war and the need to foster good bilateral relations. We both agreed that the war should be brought to an end as soon as possible to stop further unnecessary deaths and to meet soon to address various matters regarding U.S.-South Africa relations, Ramaphosa said. Relations between South Africa and the U.S. have soured badly since Trump's return to the White House in January. Trump expelled South Africa's ambassador and cut financial aid, citing disapproval of the country's approach to land reform and its genocide case against Washington's ally Israel at the World Court. Now, reporting by Sfundo Parakozhov, this writing was by Bagrav Ashrea and Tanya Anders, and editing by Alexander Winning from Reuters. South Africa's finance minister has dropped plans to increase value-added tax, that is VAT, in a major climb-down to prevent the collapse of the coalition government. Enoch Godongwana's decision came after the second biggest party, the Democratic Alliance, threatened to quit the government, warning a VAT hike would hurt the poor the most. Godongwana, a member of President Cyril Ramaphosa's African National Congress, had argued the increase was needed as the government was facing a financial crisis. But with other parties also rejecting the hike, it raised the prospect of Parliament taking the unprecedented step of voting down the national budget, forcing him and ANC to concede. The climb down is likely to be a relief for many South Africans who are already struggling financially because of the high cost of living and an unemployment rate of 32%. The ANC lost its parliamentary majority for the first time since white minority rule ended in 1994 in last year's elections, forcing it to share power. The Democratic Republic of Congo and the Rwanda-backed M23 rebel group have pledged to work toward peace following over a week of discussions in Qatar. The talks were a response to escalating violence earlier in the year, which saw M23 seize key eastern cities and raised fears of a broader regional conflict. Both parties issued identical statements affirming their commitment to an immediate cessation of hostilities, denouncing hate speech and intimidation, and calling for communities to uphold these commitments. Despite the public display of unity, sources from both delegations expressed frustration over slow progress and contentious discussions, particularly around confidence-building measures such as the release of prisoners. Tensions nearly derailed the talks, but Qatari diplomacy succeeded in securing the joint statement. We now swing to Namibia. In her maiden State of the Nation address, #Sona2025, President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah announced that starting from the 2026 academic year, tertiary education at all public universities and technical and vocational institutions will be 100% subsidized by the government, eliminating registration and tuition fees. She also outlined key initiatives, including the reintegration of the Namibia Students Financial Assistance Fund into government structures to streamline educational support. Other priorities included economic diversification through investments in agriculture, fishing, and creative industries, alongside her previously stated commitment to create 500,000 jobs over 5 years to tackle unemployment, particularly among the youth. Nandi-Ndaitwah emphasized unity, meritocracy, and effective governance to address inequality and drive sustainable development. Watch her announce the free tertiary education policy for 2026 in this clip from the NBC.
I'm pleased to announce that from the next academic year, commencing 2026, tertiary education will become 100% subsidized by the government. That means no registration fees and no tuition fees. At all public universities and technical and vocational education centers. That's why I appeal to my parents. While this will be gradual phased-in approach, your contribution as families and students for now, listen to this, for now, underline that, for now will be towards accommodation and other related costs. I'm fully aware of some people who might have difficulties, but this is the position. We heard your cry, which is fees have fallen now.
Sub-Saharan Africa accounts for nearly 70% of global maternal deaths, with about 545 maternal deaths per 100,000 live births, a figure that remains alarmingly high compared to the global average of 223. According to the World Health Organization, most maternal deaths are preventable through access to quality healthcare, skilled birth attendants, and proper information. What does a mother need to know to ensure that she has a safe pregnancy and delivery? What are some warning signs to watch for? And what are a woman's rights while going through a pregnancy and delivery? Join WHO's health expert Dr. Femi Oladapo on Science in 5.
According to a new WHO report, more women are surviving pregnancy and childbirth than ever before. In just the last 23 years, we've seen a decline of 40% in maternal deaths. However, as unprecedented aid cuts take effect around the world, UN agencies are warning of a threat of major backsliding. We all know someone who's expecting a baby, right? Our maternal health expert, Dr. Femi Oladapo, is our expert on the show today. Welcome, Dr. Femi. You've had years of experience in the field delivering babies. Talk to us about what a mother needs to know about how she can have a safe pregnancy and delivery.
Thank you, Vismita. The birth of a child is a major life event, potentially a time of hope, new beginning, and joy. But it can also be a time of fear and complications. For a woman to have a healthy pregnancy, for starters, access to routine medical checkups and good nutrition are essential to prevent complications during pregnancy.
What kind of tests are included in these antenatal checkups?
During these checkups, a woman should expect to have tests like urine tests, blood tests, ultrasound, glucose screening, blood pressure checks, as well as monitoring of her baby's growth.
And then in addition to these tests, what are the other things she should keep in mind during pregnancy?
There are some warning signs that might indicate that a complication is about to set in. women should watch out for things like vaginal bleeding, severe headache, or swelling of the legs. And if any of this emerge, a woman should contact her healthcare provider.
Dr. Femi, let's talk about a major killer for women during childbirth, hemorrhage. Why are so many women still dying of hemorrhage in this day and age?
It's a reality that maternal death is still a major issue worldwide. In 2023, 260,000 women died as a result of complications of pregnancy or childbirth. Hemorrhage is the leading cause of maternal death, and it accounts for over 25% of maternal death that occurred in 2023. If you look at that number, that is roughly 700 maternal deaths in a day, about 1 in every 2 minutes. That's like a jumbo jet crashing every day. High blood pressure disorders, known as preeclampsia, is another major cause. But the real tragedy is that many of these deaths are preventable.
So clearly, hemorrhage is a big killer, but WHO has a solution that's turning the tide, right?
Yes, exactly. The complications and serious health outcomes that are associated with postpartum hemorrhage are preventable if it's identified early. The key to this is rapid detection and effective treatment. Unlike in the past, where doctors and nurses, guess the amount of blood that a woman is losing, WHO has come up with a powerful solution, a special plastic sheet that is called calibrated drape, whereby the blood loss of a woman is measured more accurately. So immediately after the birth of the baby, the healthcare providers would slip this beneath the buttocks of the woman. The blood loss is then collected.
Ah,
As soon as the blood loss reaches a certain point, in this case 500 mils, a set of treatments are provided to the woman almost at the same time, within 15 minutes. From the study that was conducted, over 200,000 women were involved. This approach was shown to reduce severe blood loss of more than a liter, surgery to stop bleeding, or death by as much as 60%.
so Dr. Femi, I remember when I was expecting my child, there were so many people to advise my mother, my relatives. But nowadays, it's even more, right? There's digital media, there's misinformation, there's good information, there's too much information. What is it that a woman needs to know about her rights while going through pregnancy and delivery?
Very important question. A woman who is pregnant has the right to a safe, positive pregnancy, childbirth, and postnatal experience where they are treated with dignity and respect. They have the right to have a companion of their choice to be with them throughout the pregnancy journey, including during labor and childbirth. They have the right to move around when they're in labor, and they have the right to choose the birth position. And she has the right to have pain relief. In terms of advice, I will advise women to consult their healthcare providers much earlier in pregnancy so that they can work out a plan, what we call a birth plan, to ensure that they have a safe pregnancy and childbirth outcome. When women have control of their health and lives, we see healthy mothers and healthy babies.
Thank you, Dr. Femi. That was Science in 5 today. Until next time, then stay safe, stay healthy, and stick with science.
You are still with Africa. Good morning. We're going to have a look at the weather predictions before we delve into the developments stemming from Namibia. We now zone in on developments in Namibia. Yesterday, the University of Namibia hosted 2 graduation sessions filled with joy, reflection, and hope for the future. In a powerful address to the graduates, UNAM Vice-Chancellor Professor Kenneth Kamwe Matengu reminded them that the journey is only beginning, saying receiving your qualification is the start of your career, and that journey requires you to work together, not against each other. His message emphasized the importance of unity and collaboration as graduates step into the next chapter of their lives.
The receiving of your qualification, but it's the commencement of your career. And that requires you to work to learn. You are graduates today, and we are taking you out, releasing you into the field as leaders. But as they say, leaders are readers. If you stop reading, you can't lead, because you wouldn't know what new knowledge is out there. Namibia has made a commitment to contribute to Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which is good health and well-being. And today, you are being given the qualifications that make you to function, to work, to achieve this particular development goal. Namibia, like other developing countries, continue to experience death from tuberculosis, from malaria, from other communicable and non-communicable diseases. As you know, just this year, the Ministry of Health reported that there has been more than 20,000 malaria cases. This is a call to us to rise, because 2016, Namibia had less than 10.
The city of Windhoek has inaugurated Milano Gohol from Windhoek Gymnasium Private School as the new junior mayor, succeeding General Hoseb. Reflecting on his tenure, Hoseb described the experience as highly educational and encouraged his successor to embrace the opportunity with pride and responsibility. These were the scenes at the city of Windhoek.
Also for yourself. Please do enjoy that. Allow me, therefore, to strip the mayor of the chain. Yeah? And then install it onto the new junior mayor from Kwagoseb to Congo. Yeah? Officially, your junior mayor. Allow me to also do the same to the junior deputy. I'll strip him off. This is a symbol of power. If you carry these symbols very well, you might just be the most powerful guys in five years to come. But all the best, congratulations, and we wish you well. You directors is what's going to happen right now. Wow, that's all I can say.
Thank you so much. This is the part where it becomes bittersweet. So.
And Chief Executive Officer of CRAN, Emilia Ngikebwa, opened the stage at the Girls in ICT Day celebration held at Arebush Travel Lodge. In her address, she highlighted the importance of empowering the girl child in the field of ICT, emphasizing that such empowerment is crucial not only for Namibia, but for Africa and the global community as a whole.
Launched by the International Telecommunication Union to recognize the pivotal role that girls and young women play in shaping our digital future. Celebrated annually during the 4th week of April, this day serves as a platform to inspire girls to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, as often known the STEM fields, and also to challenge stereotypes that often hinder their participation. This year's theme, Girls in ICT for Inclusive Digital Transformation, resonates with our collective goal, which is to foster an environment where every girl, regardless of background or circumstance, has the opportunity to thrive in the digital economy. It underscores the need for inclusive policies, supportive ecosystems, and mentorship programs that encourage girls to take their rightful place in the ICT sector.
Those have been some of the stories stemming from the great nation of Namibia. Now, Tanzania has banned South African and Malawian agricultural imports amid growing trade dispute. We'll be talking about that in economic news just after the indicators. Tanzania has halted all agricultural imports from South Africa and Malawi in retaliation to trade restrictions on its own exports, escalating a regional trade row at the Kasumulu border crossing with Malawi, normally busy with produce-laden trucks. Only a few vehicles carrying fuel remained on Thursday. Malawi recently banned Tanzanian imports, including flour, bananas, and maize, to protect local producers, while South Africa has long barred Tanzanian bananas. Tanzania's Agriculture Minister Hussein Bashe defended the import ban, saying it was aimed at safeguarding Tanzania's economic interests and asserting fair trade standards. He dismissed concerns over food shortages, declaring no Tanzanian will die from a lack of South African grapes or apples. The fallout is significant. Malawi relies heavily on Tanzanian ports for exports like tobacco and soybeans, while South Africa's fruit exports to Tanzania will also take a hit. The standoff comes despite the African Continental Free Trade Area's goal to ease intra-African trade. Talks are ongoing, but no resolution has been reached. Bashe emphasized the move wasn't meant to provoke a trade war, but to demand equitable treatment in the region's markets. Those have been our stories on Africa Good Morning. Thank you very much for joining us on this Friday. We certainly look forward to seeing you next week. On Monday, we'll be in Zambia, Tuesday, Zimbabwe, Wednesday, Botswana, Thursday, South Africa, and Friday we swing back to the land of the brave. But DSTV 285, GoTV25, OneUp2.com, Network Media Hub on YouTube, as well as NTV Africa on YouTube are some of the places that you can find us. From me, Ashwin Berry, and the Africa Good Morning team, Swela Zwaganaka.